Good evening on tonight. Good evening on tonight. Go ahead and jump in on tonight. Good evening on tonight. As you come into the room, identify yourself. Let me know who's on tonight. Who's on tonight? Press that like, press that share button. I'm sorry for the delay on tonight. I had another Bible study and then the system was acting crazy. Press that like, press that share button. You come on in. Share this with your family members. Share this with your friends. Let people know that it's on and popping tonight. And we want to say good evening, everybody. Everybody, come on, press that like, press that share button. Let me know that you're online tonight. And we want to make sure that this is a great broadcast on tonight. Thank you for those that are jumping on. Crystal Brown, good to see you. Joey Torres, good to see you. Miss Hamilton, good to see you. Hola, Miss Sims. As y'all jump on and press that like, press that share button, let people know that we're on tonight. We're going to deal with the second time around of our book review on tonight. Marriage is not for everyone. Marriage is not for everyone. This is for the mature audience on tonight. For those who are married, those who considering marriage, and those who not married at all. Thank you. Good to see you on tonight, Miss Terry. Good to see you. Good to see you. Press that like, press that share button. We want to make sure that this blesses someone on tonight. If this is your first time on, we pray that you can get a copy of the book, Marriage is Not for Everyone. We want to make sure that everyone on tonight can have a productive, peaceful, good state of marriage. And I pray that God will breathe prosperity on it. And for those who are considering marriage, I want to give you the wisdom that is needed. As the title say, marriage is not for everyone. Everyone is not designed to be married or able to handle the institution of marriage. Good evening, Deacon. Good to see you on tonight. Press that like, press that share button. Do me a favor. Tag someone, send it to someone, let them know we're on tonight, and we're going to have a great time on tonight. We're going to go between the Bible and also my book on tonight. We're going to do both on tonight. When you have any comments, I want you to put them in the comment section. Any question, put them in the comment section, and we're going to make sure that people grow in the grace and the knowledge of God, but also through practical wisdom. Thank you also for those too that have bought a copy of the book. I greatly appreciate it, and I pray that it will continue to bless your soul beyond measure. I pray that it will help you in your daily walk and your daily life. And I pray that your life will be changed after this. At this time, tag somebody. Let somebody know that we're online tonight. Let them know that this is something they need. Pulling your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, whoever's on. Go ahead and do that for me. Thank you for the likes and the shares on tonight. I pray. Good evening, Miss Hudson. Good evening, Miss Hudson. I pray on tonight that this is going to be a great time and that we're going to learn something. On tonight, we're going to do another edition of Marriage is Not for Everyone. Last week, we did a great job of breaking down certain principle and concept. This is a book of practicality, but also this is a book of wisdom that when you read it, it can be applicable to your daily life. We want to make sure that your relationships are healthy and they're also productive. Before I go into the video on tonight, I'm going to go ahead and pray over the broadcast. I pray right now, God, by the Spirit of God, that everyone that is watching on tonight, I pray that you'll touch their hearts, their minds, their souls, and their spirits. Bring healing, Lord. Bring clarity. Bring awareness of relationship status that people are in. Most importantly, God, let us have healthy and productive relationships that are reflective of you and your kingdom. And I thank you, Lord, for what you've done and the things you're going to continue to do. And I pray right now that you will bless everyone on here tonight. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. Before we go to our broadcast on tonight, I want you to watch the video of Marriage is Not for Everyone. You can grab a copy of my book at www.kkhbooks.com, and ebooks is online right now for $10. Did you know that over 50% of marriages start at the altar but end up in the courtroom? Hi, my name is Kasin Hamilton, the author of Marriage is Not for Everyone. In this book, I detail that some people should stay single, others should get married, and some people should never get married again. Please grab a copy of this book. I would rather for you to spend $10 on this book than spend $10,000 on alimony. Marriage is not for everyone. All right, let's get it on and popping. Let's do it like we do it every week. Let's do it like we do it every week. Right now in the comment section, I want you to put your relationship status. I want you to put your relationship status M if you're married, SM if you're seeking marriage, D you don't desire marriage. Put your relationship status in the comment right now. S if you're single, SM if you're seeking marriage, D if you're not desiring marriage at all. Put your relationship status, or you just type it out on tonight. I want to see all the relationship statuses that's on tonight for those who are on tonight. Now, for those that don't know, this book deals with every walk of life, deal with every walk of life. It deals with those who are married, it's those who are seeking marriage, the people that are single, and those who are not desiring marriage. That's why we call it Marriage is Not for Everyone. That's the thought of this book, because you have to ask yourself in your mind, your heart, and your spirit, is marriage even for me? Is it something I want to do? Is it something I'm seeking? Or if I'm even divorced, is it something I want to go back into? The institution of marriage is a very fragile and delicate institution, and you must handle it with care, and you must understand what you're getting yourself into. All right, there we go. All right, let's go. We got some people. We got seeking marriage. Okay, we got 2 seeking marriage. We got 1 married. Anybody else on tonight? Put your relationship status on tonight. Are you seeking marriage? Are you desiring marriage? Or you just say, D, I'm just done with marriage. I don't even want to fool with it no more. Put that in a relationship status on tonight. Now, tonight, we're going to deal with the book from different layers and different perspectives on tonight. We're going to deal with a book with different layers and different perspectives on tonight, because we want to get conversation sparked and get people going. Now, my first premise on tonight, if y'all don't mind, my first premise on tonight, I want to start off with a scripture tonight before I even get to my book. Scripture tonight, Mark chapter 10, verse number 9. Put that in the chat for me. Mark 10, verse number 9. Mark 10, verse number 9. Mark 10, verse number 9. I want y'all to put that in the chat on tonight. I want to start with the scripture tonight. Then I'm going to jump into the book on tonight, if y'all don't mind. Put that in the chat. Mark 10, verse number 9. I want this to be the premise of our thesis on tonight. Mark 10, verse number 9. Watch what the Bible says. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate it. All right, Mark 10, 9. Y'all a good class. I appreciate that. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no man separate it. This is my thesis on tonight, and one of the reasons I wrote this book. My thesis on tonight is that we often articulate this scripture in a preaching context or in a Bible context, but we really don't look at what it says. My thesis on tonight is that many reasons that many marriages falling apart, here we go, God did not put it together. I'm going to say that again. The reason many marriages are falling apart or not working, we have to deal with the premise of the text. It says, what God has joined together, let no one separate. Here we go on tonight. Many marriages start off wrong because the root of their tree is not even God. All right. The root of their tree is what they put together. All right. I want to start here on tonight because we talked about it last week. Beauty is good. Intellect is good. Sex is good. All of these things matter. But if God did not put it together, it's not going to last. All right. In dating, we work backwards and not forward. This is what we do. We sign off something that's wrong, and then we want God to co-sign it to make it right. I want to say it again. Thank you, Brother Joey. Joey, I'm preaching already. I appreciate it. Listen, we do it backwards. We sign off on papers that's wrong, then we want God to co-sign it to make it right. But if we have exegetical integrity on tonight, the text says we have to deal with this idea on tonight. Who is joining you together? Who is joining you together? Furthermore, what is joining you together? This is a mature audience on tonight. Let's go here on tonight. What is joining you together? Is it because you're broke and you need their money to live? Is it because the sex is good? Is it because you don't want to live in sin? Is it because you're tired of being single and you want to change your relationship status? It's because your family is putting pressure on you to get married. Is it because your ovulation period is coming down and you need to have kids? You have to ask yourself at your core, did God even put this together? All right. Hear me careful on tonight, because we often say this in church. Why are people getting divorced so much in church? Because most people in church are not getting married for God. They're getting married for their own personal reasons. And this is what they do. They marry someone illegally, but then they want God to bless it to be legal. Let's have a think tank on tonight. May I suggest to you tonight, just because it's signed on a paper, this does not mean it's signed in heaven. Let me say that again on tonight. Let's stretch our brains on tonight. Just because it's signed on a sheet of paper does not mean it's signed in heaven. Who gave you the authorization to say, I do? This is, hear me carefully, this is the personal reason I wrote, marriage is not for everyone. All right? Because many of us, watch this, we have to ask ourselves, did God authorize this, or I authorize this myself? All right? Hear me carefully on today. We have to think in our brains, hear me carefully, why would God bless something that's already out of order? I'm gonna give you a practical analogy because I like to use myself. But I'm not going to say anybody's name because I want to protect the innocent. When I was dating a young lady that went to Georgia State, and after the relationship went wrong, I went to my father and I said to him, X, Y, and Z happened in a relationship. It did not work out. My father said to me, I'm not even shocked it did not work out. I'm sitting there looking at him crazy, like, you're supposed to be giving me a hug, some type of sympathy. You're supposed to be on my side. And my father said something I want to say to you on tonight that's going to launch us on our premise. My father says, if it started wrong, it's going to end wrong. If I'm talking to you, let me know I'm talking to you in the comments. My father said, if it started wrong, it's going to end wrong. Watch this. He already had the lens, the wisdom, the knowledge to see our relationship started wrong, so it's going to end wrong, right? We got saved people on here, some people that's not saved. He says, listen, let me help you. Your Holy Ghost, and for those who are not saved, your intuition or your conscience sometimes let you know it's not right. All right? It is not right. Just hear me carefully on today. Your spirit, man, your inside says this not right. But watch what we do. Verse number 9. Watch this. Instead of God being in the text, you put your name in the text. So we do it this way. Therefore, what Kasin has joined together, let no one separate. And then once it goes wrong, then we want God to get in it to keep it going right. So the basic premise on tonight is this. Before you even consider marriage on tonight, I want you to hear carefully on tonight. We have to ask ourselves, did God even bring it together? Did God even bring it together? You should not get married because you want to have photo ops on social media. You should not get married because you're about to pastor a ministry. You should not get married because you're trying to raise your upper echelon among a certain group. You have to ask yourself, did God put this together? Now, why is this critical and key? Because in church teaches us to get together, as I put last week. If you're taking notes, I'm going to retract last week and go forward. In church, they taught us to get married for two reasons. They taught us in church to get married for two reasons, for horniness and holiness. All right? In church, they taught you to get married for horniness and holiness. So I'm going to get married because I'm horny and I'm trying to stay holy because I don't want to go to hell. But never in that equation did your pastor ask you, are you joined together because God said it? But we're joining together because we're horny and we're trying to live holy and trying to escape hell. All right? So what happens now? When you get married, marriage does not conceal who you are. Marriage reveals who you are. I'm going to say that again. Marriage does not conceal who you are. Marriage reveals who you are. All right? So while you're dating, if they're junky, if they're inconsistent, if they're angry, if they're crazy, hear me carefully on today, that's who they're going to be in marriage times 10. All right? Now, I'm going to put this on in the section. I want y'all to get this. In the book, I suggest that I use these symbolic words, and I'm going to put it on the screen. In dating, you have to be careful about engaging in the pickles and peaches conversation. If y'all don't mind, put that in the chat. Pickles and peaches conversations. In dating, you have to be careful about the pickles and peaches conversation. If y'all don't mind, put that in the chat. Let me know y'all following along. Pickles and peaches conversation. All right? Hear me carefully. In pickles and peaches conversations, when you engage in these conversations while dating, watch what it does. Pickles and peaches conversations make you lose your common sense mechanism. All right. If you don't know what pickles and peaches mean, inbox me later on for me to help you. In dating, your pickles and peaches conversation, watch this, can cloud your common sense mechanism. So now you cannot see the person for who they are, but you see them for what you want them to be. Let me say that again. Pickles and peaches conversation clouds your judgment, so you don't see the people for who they are, but you see them as what you want them to be. All right. And during the midst of all of this, we're never considering where is God in all of this equation. Y'all a good class on tonight. Pickles and peaches. So we have to stop right there, because watch this. Marriage is not going to change the character or the integrity of an individual. It's only going to reveal who they are to a later degree. All right. So while you're dating, you have to look at things, watch this, through the lens of a spiritual perspective and not a carnal perspective. Watch this. Many of us date as if we're operating our iPhones. What do you mean by that? Many of us dating like we're operating our iPhone, because why is this? We are dating people through the lens of our own filters. We are dating people through the lens of our own filters. So we're putting filters on people to disclose the blemishes, the issues that you clearly see. So you're putting these filters on people because you don't want to deal with the issues that are relevant. So you have to put filters on it in order for you, hear me carefully, to sustain in something you know God didn't put you in. Does that make any sense? Let me know if that makes sense. So now let's recalibrate our minds. I'm talking to single folk, I'm talking to married folk, those seeking marriage, those who don't desire marriage. We got to calibrate some things in our minds. What am I going to do during this season of my life? How am I going to be intentional about dating? How am I going to be intentional in my marriage? How am I going to be intentional if I'm not even desiring marriage, but I know I have human needs? All right. Hear me careful on tonight. I'm trying to help you. All right. So let's go forward. In the book, there's a hashtag section. There's a hashtag section, and each hashtag I put on the bottom of the screen. So this is the first hashtag we want to deal with on tonight. I'd rather remain single than to be married to a mistake. I want y'all to get that in y'all head. I would rather be single than to be married to a mistake. All right. The key is not getting married, but the key is getting married to the right person. The key is not getting married, but the key is getting married to the right person. This is the reality. For most people that's on here that's single, or even people that's married, you have many of times where you could have got married to anyone. But the key is, if I'm going to take this slow dance called marriage and life with someone, I need to have the right dance partner. I need to have the person that's on the same levels, the same plane, the same ideology as me. Why is this critical? You should never let your timing force you into something that you know you should not be in. Hear me carefully. You should never let personal timing force you into something that you should not be in. All right. Many people, watch this, their biological clock, their financial clock, their family clock, their personal clocks makes them say I do when they should have said I don't. So they rush down the aisle to get into something to appease other people or personal goals, and now they're married to a mistake. And watch what happens once the wedding is over, once the honeymoon is done. Now you have to deal with that person personally. In the words of my mother, she told me this from day one. My mother said, I don't care who you marry, who you date, because hear me carefully. She says, that's who you're going to have to sleep with and look to every day. Ask yourself this question. Are you comfortable with the decision that you made, and can you live with the decision for the rest of your life? You should not rush into something because of clocks that you have going on in your mind. All right. It is not important for you to get married just to change your status online or to post pictures. There are many people that are posting pictures online that are giving the appearance of happiness, but they're not happiness in their relationship. Your objective should be, If I'm going to be married, hear me carefully, I have to pick the right dance partner. Now, let's slow this down. Let's train down. Number two, let me know if I help you. You got any questions? You want to come and jump in, right? Patience is your personal investigator because it reveals who people really are. Good to see you on tonight. Good to see you on tonight. Press that like, press that share for those that just got on. Listen to me carefully. Patience is your personal investigator because it reveals who people really are. All right. When you are rushing into relationships, you don't even allow patience to do its job. You need Bible. James put it this way: let patience have its perfect work. You don't even know that patience can work for you. I'm going to say it again. Patience can work for you just as impatience can work against you. Let me slow that down. If I'm helping somebody, let me know. Patience can work for you just as impatience can work against you. So now when you meet someone, you should not be rushing to an altar, but you should be taking your time, and hear me carefully, and investigate the investment that you're about to get yourself into. I said it correctly. I said investigate. If y'all don't mind, put it in the comment section. While dating, you should be investigating. I didn't say stalking. I said investigating. What do you mean by that? I need to look into depth until this candidate that I'm about to sign up. We're in 2022, and there's no reason you should be dating somebody and you don't know they went to jail. There's no reason in 2022 you don't know their marital status. You can type people's name on Google and it will give you a synopsis of who people are. In relationships, while dating, you need to investigate and also to take your time. Take your time. Why are you saying that? So this happens now in the legal system. If a man robs a bank today, he gets locked up tomorrow. When he goes to court, it may be 2 years from now before he goes to court. Why is that? Because both teams understand we're going to take our time, investigate, and get evidence to find out if he or she is guilty or not guilty. I want y'all to hear this on tonight. In dating, you should take your time and investigate based upon what are your non-negotiables. I want to say it again. In dating, you should take your time and investigate based upon your non-negotiables. And non-negotiables, hear me carefully on tonight, they are subjective to your personal standards. I'm going to say it again. Non-negotiables are selective to your standards. And we got some singing people on tonight. I want y'all to get this in your head, or take notes or whatever you're doing from home, your cubicle. Get this in your head. What are my non-negotiables? What am I not going to bend on? What am I not going to alter my standards over? Watch this. And these standards are not based upon your family member, your friends, your church. These standards are based upon what you need for your marriage. All right? What you need for your relationship. So if you know you want a person that's educated, that can cook, that has a job, that's in church, these are your non-negotiable. Some people like people that smoke, some people that don't like people that smoke. Some people don't like folk that drink, some people don't like folk that do drink. These are non-negotiables based upon, hear me carefully, your personal standard. One of the things that can kill you in the dating process is that you're so quick to try to get the ring, but you forget to become an investigator. Where do you live? How many kids do you have? Do you want any more kids? What is your faith? How do you view marriage? Do you believe in monogamy? What is your credit score like? What is your financial aspiration? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? These are all reasonable questions or investigations that you should engage into. Okay, thank you. They have I put on my screen. There you go. Non-negotiables are based on what I need. They're not based upon what your mother, your father, your friend, or family think. It is based upon, watch this, what you need. This is what happens. I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to rush to get a ring, and then once you get the ring, you're miserable and it's not working. Take your time. Don't be cornered into a marriage. All right. If it doesn't feel right in your spirit, don't say yes. All right. It doesn't make any sense. All right. So we got two of the hashtags on tonight. Two of the hashtags tonight. And thankful that jumped on tonight. Press that like, press that share button. If I'm helping somebody, let me know on tonight. Now, the chapter I want to deal with tonight is called Perfectly Imperfect. I want to deal with the chapter on tonight called Perfectly Imperfect. Perfectly imperfect. I'm going to put down the screen. Perfectly imperfect. I want to deal with this on tonight. Perfectly imperfect, because I want to help y'all on tonight. Because hear me carefully. This is the first thing I want y'all to get in y'all head, that there's no such thing as a perfect person. I'm going to say it again. And the married people can attest to it that's on tonight. There's no such thing as a perfect person, but they are perfectly imperfect because they fit you. I'm gonna say it again. They are perfectly imperfect because they fit you. Now, in marriage and also in dating, many people suffer from what I like to call the happily ever after syndrome. The happily ever after syndrome. The happily ever after syndrome. And it goes this way. You go into a marriage naively thinking that once you say I do, you're going to walk up in the sunset, the music's going to play, the birds are going to chirp, and the rainbow is coming across your head. That is not the way it works. And once you go into a marriage or even in dating with a happily ever after syndrome, watch what you do. You limit your relationship potential, but also you get rid of good people who could have been a good candidate. Let me say it again. When you have the happily ever after syndrome, you limit the potential candidates, but also you diminish those who could be good for you. So there's no person that you're going to get with, hear me on today, that is perfect in all regards. But you have to ask yourself on tonight, are they perfectly imperfect for you? Are they perfectly imperfect for you? Do they fit you? Do they compliment you? Do they challenge you? Do they make you think better? Do they make you want to become more of yourself? Hear me carefully on tonight. I don't want you to miss out on a blessing looking for something that does not exist. I'm going to say it again. I do not want you to miss out on the blessing of your life looking for something that does not exist. Many people live in a state of euphoria of happily ever after because they naively think, because I've seen it on TV, that's the marriage I want. That's the relationship I want. That's the person I want to be with. Stop right here. Newsflash. Never compare your personal relationship, your personal marriage with other people. Every relationship in marriage is different. What is the analogy you want to give on tonight? I'm going to give you an analogy on tonight to help you understand what I'm saying. Right now, if you're at home right now and you want to take a selfie of yourself, 9 times out of 10, you may take 3 to 5 pictures at bare minimum. 3 to 5 pictures at bare minimum. Hear me carefully on tonight. You may take 3 to 5 pictures at bare minimum if you want to take a selfie on tonight. And watch what you do. Watch what you do. You then, based upon the 5 pictures you take the one that fits what you want to see. You take the one that fits what you want to see. But on your phone, there are 5 pictures. You only use 1 picture and you delete the other 4. All right? This is what I want you to hear from this analogy. The problem with many people that are single and also married, you get to see the picture that's posted, but you don't see the pictures that are deleted. I'm going to say it again. You see the pictures that are posted, but you don't see the pictures that are deleted. In other words, you see people marriages when it's on the front stage, but you don't see it behind the scenes. So when you now gauge your relationship based upon someone that you don't get to see behind the scenes, you now have a false barometer about what a relationship should look like. All right. And when you do that, hear me carefully, you miss out on your perfectly imperfect person that was designed for you. All right. Hear me carefully. They may not fit the other person, but they fit you. All right. Here we go. Here we go on tonight. Cinderella could not leave the ball until she found what fit her. Before you move forward, you got to ask yourself, I'm not worried about my family. I'm not worried about my friends. I have to find out, hear me carefully, what fits me. Now, if I gauge your relationship based upon what I see from a distant perspective, then I may mess up my psychology about relationships. Now, let me help you on tonight. Any person that's been married 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years, you should not ask for their crowns, but you should discuss their battle scars. I want to say it again. Any person that's married on tonight and they're dealing with single people, don't ask them about their crowns. Ask them about their scars. What made y'all stay together? What was a time in y'all relationship where forgiveness had to be injected? When was the time you thought about walking away? When was the time that you thought that the union was not, hear me carefully, from God? You have to get around, hear me single people, you have to get around married people who have experience in having a marriage and not a wedding. Hear me carefully. You need to get around people who have experience in marriage and not in weddings. Our generation is good at majoring in weddings, but we're poor in marriages. Hear me on today. Now I want y'all to get this in your psychology. I want you to ruminate. For those who are single on today, what is your non-negotiables? For those in the comment section, I want you to type one non-negotiable that you have in the comment section. One non-negotiable that you have. One non-negotiable that you have. That I'm not bending on this. I'm not compromising on this. I'm not twisting my mind on this. I want y'all to put in the comment section. One non-negotiable that you have on tonight. Put it in the comment section. I want you to do that. And then from that gauge, you can use it as a part of your litmus test to decide who you want to be with. Now, we have to deal with sometimes the root of why people get married. Now, if a tree is oftentimes decaying or falling down, we have to oftentimes analyze the root. What is the basis of this relationship? So in the second part of the section of my book, I deal with different type of relationships that I feel, because there are a lot of people who get married not for the right intentions. So one of the things I want to put on here is the first thing foremost, I want y'all to get this. It is called adolescentship. Adolescentship. Adolescentship, hear me carefully on tonight, can be a very dangerous relationship if the investment does not pay off. I'm going to get to it. Adolescentship. This relationship is based upon two people dating while developing from children to adults. As a result, familiarity plays a role in the decision to marry young. All right, adolescentships. All right, adolescentships can become very dangerous. They deal with the cons of it, because sometimes when you marry too young, you have no idea of who you are. And then once you discover your partner becomes a stranger. I'm going to say it again. If I'm helping somebody, let me know, because I can't see nothing. I can see some comments. I appreciate it. And I'm going to get back to those non-negotiables. When you marry sometimes too young, once you develop and figure out who you are, once you decide who you are, who you become, and once you grow, the person that you was in love with now will become a stranger, because you're now in a different space. All right? Hear me carefully. Even physiologically speaking, your brain, hear me carefully, I want y'all to hear this, your brain is not even developed until 25. Your frontal lobe in your brain, your decision-making center, your frontal lobe is not even developed until you're 25. So what happens if you get married from 17 to 24? Let's think tonight. Let's have a think tank. Let's have a think tank. Your frontal lobe is not even fully developed until 25. But you are now marrying from 17 to 24. and your brain is not even developed. So what happens when you get married at a young age, but now you're growing and becoming something that you wasn't when you was young? Adolescentship. So I marry you because, hear me carefully, I marry you because I'm familiar with you. I marry you because this is all I know. Hear me. Hear me. Then once we get into it, now we're growing. The vision is coming in, not because you're a bad person or I'm a bad person, but watch what happens. We married each other when we didn't even know ourselves. I'm going to say it again. We married each other when we did not even know ourselves. Adolescentship. All right. This is why I would not encourage anyone that is super young to get married. Through the age of 17 to 24, if you're taking notes, through the age of 17 to 24, you should be putting things in your life in order. You should be putting things in your life in order. You should be getting your credit straight. You should be seeking your career path. You should be seeking a home. You should be traveling the world. You should be taking care of your physical body. You should be putting in place the basic parameters that when I do meet someone, watch this, they become complementary and not a headache. Because oftentimes we get out the house, our pheromones are moving, our hormones are moving. All of these things are going, stimulating our brain and heart. And the first person we see on the college campus, we fall in love. Now you're married. All right? Adolescentship. So hear me. If you're young people that's watching, I'm just older people. If you're young, during this time period, you should be focused on developing yourself so that when a person comes together with you, watch this, they won't complete you. They will complement you in that marriage. Adolescentship. All right? The positive thing about adolescentship is this. In some situations, you have the beauty of growing together, not growing apart. So as the years go forth, as years mature, you learn the pros, the cons, the ins and outs, the negative, the positive of these relationships. And now that once you hit 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 going forward, you have a stronger foundation because you've been together so long. Hear me carefully. All of these ideals are subjective. This is not a monolithic idea, but these are all subjective. All right. Let me stop right here. I want to go through these non-negotiables. Non-negotiables. All right. Let me go. All right. Let's go down this road. All right. All right. First non-negotiable. Someone who wants more children. I like that. Next one. Must allow God to lead us. I like that. Next one. A person who cannot correct themselves, or when something arises, basically a person who is not willing to grow is a deal breaker for me. I like that. Yes. Not loving my children. Let me stop right there. There's a chapter in the Bible the book called It's Not You, It's the Kids. It's not you, it's the kids. If you are dating, if you're seeking marriage and you have kids, hear me carefully, do not avoid the conversation of parenting. Do not avoid the conversation of parenting. All right? I put it in the book because sometimes, even in therapy, I've seen it. Sometimes people will marry you even when they don't like your kids. Let me say that again. I know y'all don't want to hear this, but this is what happened in therapy. I'm telling you, sometimes people will marry you and love you, but don't like your kids. So they will play the role as if they're interested in your kids, but they really have no affinity for them. So while dating, if you're investigating, do subtle tests to see how much they're trying to be invested into your kids. I did not say for them to parent your kids. I said to see subtleties to see if they are into a certain degree invested into your kids. If you have kids on here tonight and you think about getting married, this is a conversation you should not avoid because there are oftentimes kids and co-parenting kids can destroy relationships. All right. I like that. I like this one. Non-negotiable. Have a relationship with God. Have a relationship with God. I like this because if you are a spiritual person, you should not begin with someone who's unspiritual and thinking your marriage is going to change them. That's one of the worst things you could ever do. All right. You have to have these conversations. Now, I like this. I want to deal with this idea. I like this. That's difficult, but it's definitely a needed conversation. Hear me carefully on today. You should rather have difficult conversations in dating instead of dealing with divorce after you get married. All right. I'd rather be uncomfortable in dating and having difficult conversations than avoiding these conversations. And then once we get married, now these things are going to seep their head back up. I promise you this. If you heard nothing I said tonight, what you don't address in dating will rear its head in marriage. What you do not address in dating will rear its head in marriage. You have to have difficult conversations in order for you to get to the fact of the matter. Don't avoid it. Don't talk around it. Timing is everything. You can get any information out of a person if you understand timing and diplomacy. So what are you saying by that? On your first date, you should not be at the date talking about, do you want kids? Do you want to get married? No, give it time. Get to know the person. Talk with them. Let time matriculate. And then at the right time, you bring forth these questions that could be critical about the finality of your relationship. Because the worst thing you want to do is say yes to someone and you have a lot of questions on your heart and your mind that has not been addressed. Because when you don't address them, they're going to seek out in your relationship and other matters. Does that make any sense? All right. Timing and diplomacy. Next one I want to deal with is called lonelyship. 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 This relationship is based upon a person becoming fatigued from being alone. Once the lonely individual confidence is restored and clarity is gained, this person will consider, I left off the S, other options. Other options. I'm going to get to your question, Ms. Drama. I'm going to get to your question. Hear me on tonight. Lonelyship. You should not get into a marriage because you are lonely. Plain and simple. You should not get into a marriage because you're lonely. Because watch what happens. You could be by yourself so long, you become fatigued with being single, you drop your standards, and then the first thing available, you take it. I want to say it again. You can become fatigued from being single for so long that the first opportunity that comes, you accept it because you're tired of being by yourself. Now you're altering your standards because you don't want to be by yourself. If I'm making sense, put on making sense. Miss Stevens, I appreciate it. She put amen. I'm talking good then. I'm talking good. She put amen. Listen, hear me carefully. So you should not, hear me carefully, jump into something because you are lonely. All right? You should not jump into something because you just cannot be by yourself. Because here's the caveat. Look at the definition. Look at the caveat. Because once the lonely individual confidence is restored and clarity is gained, the person will consider other options. All right. What do you mean by that? Had this ever happened to you? Because you were lonely, you dated somebody, and then over months you said, what am I thinking? Why am I even with them? This is not even the person I want to be with. Hear me carefully, because being single sometimes can cause fatigue intellectually, emotionally, physically, and your fatigue then will lead you to making irrational or bad decisions. All right? Hear me carefully on tonight. I want you to get this in your mind. So you need to slow down and ask yourself, am I trying to be with this person because I'm lonely and tired, or this somebody I really want to be with? Because once your clarity is restored and your confidence is gained, then you're going to seek other options. I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to get to the questions. Give me a second. Because oftentimes in relationships, especially when you're single, people who I like to call carnivores in dating, they can sometimes sift your desperateness. All right? Sometimes when you're dating, there are carnivores in dating that can sift or smell your desperateness. They have no intentions of building something long-term with you, but they want to suck the life out of you while they can and then move on to next because they can feel a sense or see your desperateness. All right? Let me get to somebody coming. Let me go. I'm gonna get to y'all. All right. I think Jan, let me see Miss Drummer. She put, how can you, I like that. How to not be a nagger while dating. How not to be a nagger while dating. I guess you mean by how not to irritate a person while dating. As I said earlier, you need patience and you need diplomacy. You need patience and you need diplomacy, which means you need to learn the art of asking questions at the right time in the right environment. One of the best times to ever get information from an individual is when they're eating and when they're drinking. I want to say that again. One of the best times to get information from a person is when they're eating and when they're drinking. When they're in an environment where they're relaxed, when they're in an environment where they doesn't feel any apprehension or tension, in an environment where I can be myself, you can be yourself. All right. Many of us, we can never investigate properly because your timing is wrong. If you're taking notes on tonight, I want you to put this down. If you're dating someone and you're dealing with a serious topic, do not text people questions about a serious topic. I'm going to say that again. Do not text people about serious topics. Text messaging is just like Bible interpretation. You may be trying to say one thing, but the person is going to interpret it to something else. So if it's a serious issue that you want to address, do not text it. Number two, and if you want to address a serious issue, do not text the person and say, I want to address a serious issue. Why is that? Because now their defense mechanism is going to kick up, and then they're going to start assuming and thinking things of the worst when you text them something that you could have said in person. All right? Do not text serious conversations. When you're having serious conversations with people in marriage and in dating, you need to have conversations face to face because number one, you need to be able to hear clearly what they're saying and get clarity. Number two, you need to look at the person's body language. Texting robs you of people's body languages. So in texting, I can tell you anything, but it may contradict how I really feel. All right? In texting, hear me, in texting, I can text you anything, but it may contradict how I really feel. All right? So texting may go like this. I have a question. Do you want to have any more kids? They respond, yes, I do, but not right now. You then respond and say, oh, really? So kids are not priority to you? No, I did not say that. I said, I just don't want kids right now. So when do you want kids? I don't want them right now, but I want to put things in place before I have kids. You respond, oh, well, I'm looking for someone who wants kids and you're not the person for me. Now a conversation that you could have gained clarity in face-to-face conversation, body language, interpretation, understanding is now shattered because you decided to text. Do not text serious conversations, but sit down at the table and look a person in their eye and face and have serious conversation. Do you want to get married? Do you even believe in marriage? Do you feel comfortable with raising someone else's child? Are you going to relocate? What is your ideas of sex? What is your ideas of finances? What is your spiritual preference? Do you have a religion that you believe in? What is your relationship like with your mother or your father? Do you believe in co-parenting? Do you believe in joint bank accounts? Do you believe in traditional roles? All of these things you have to ask your spouse, potential spouse, in dating, and don't assume it through texting. All right. If I'm helping y'all, somebody help you, let me know I'm helping you. And then when faced with long-term marriage, you already have the habit of seeking other options when they're not going well. Correct. So even loneliness is applicable in marriage. You can be in a marriage and still be alone. You could be in a marriage and still experience loneliness because communication is not taking place. There's no bond, there's no communication, there's nothing taking place to keep the marriage together but the ring. All right. You have to be very intentional, married people, in keeping your marriage together. I'm going to put this on the screen. Give me a second. Let me look at the next text. I like that. Amen. Pick up the phone and call them. This generation take full paragraph. Exactly. Listen, let me say this. Let me say this. Text messaging has robbed our generation of communicating properly. Text messaging has robbed our generation of communicating properly. So even when you was a kid, elementary school, middle school, you had to at least write down on a sheet of paper, do you want to go with me? Yes, no, or maybe. And you had to at least walk up to the girl, hand it to her, and let her make a decision. But now you DMing folk, you texting them, and it creates a bad habit of communication, right? So he even said, I like what the brother said. So now, hear me carefully. Now you're writing full text paragraphs on a text message, but over the phone, you can't hold a full conversation. I'm going to say it again. You're writing full text paragraphs, but over the phone, you can't even have a conversation. Some of us, I like that. I like that. Some of us need to work on our social skills. I like that. No socialization skills or whatever. We need to work on our social skills. Fellas that's on tonight, it's nothing wrong with picking up a phone and asking a lady, can you take her out? Don't text her, what you doing tonight? Are you free later? We need to learn how to properly communicate, because how you, as we said earlier, how you start a relationship is how the relationship is going to end. So if you start off texting 25 lengthy paragraphs, then your relationship is going to be based upon texting. So then when the road meets the road and there's some issue that need to be addressed, they're not going to want to address them in person, but they're going to try to text things to avoid the uncomfortableness of having conversations. All right. Conflict is good in relationships. Conflict is good in relationship because they do two things. Conflict reveals who people are, and also it causes your relationship to grow. Conflict causes two things. It reveals who people are, and also causes your relationship to grow. All right. You have to ask yourself, if I'm with you for 8 months and we never argue, you have a problem. I laugh at some people who say, me and my boo been together forever. We don't have nothing wrong with us. We great. We always get along. You have a problem, because that suggests to me that either you're lying or you're acting. All right. Either you're lying or you're acting. When your relationship, hear me carefully, when your relationship is an authentic relationship, I should be able to tell you the truth about you, hurt your feelings, but no, it's coming from a good place and we can move forward. Because I'm not saying it to destroy you, but I'm saying it to develop you. You have to be literal in the relationships that you're in, and you're always agreeing about everything. I don't care if you're married 40 years. If you're agreeing about everything, you're either acting or you're lying. I'm trying to tell you. So sometimes conflict is a necessary component of a relationship, because in conflict, hear me carefully, you get to see how your partner reacts when you don't agree with them, how they respond when you have a different perspective. Are they becoming short? Are they getting attitudes? Are they being passive aggressive? Are they texting you 30 hours later with one-word responses? How do you handle conflict? If you cannot handle conflict in relationships, do not get married. And if you cannot handle conflict in your marriage, you're going to be divorced. How do you handle conflict? How can we have a resolve with each other even when we don't agree? You're not going to agree on everything, but you have to learn how to be amicable even when there's tension in the room. All right. I got a comment. I'm guilty used to being against texting, but I like it for the paper trail purposes. But texting has caused a backlog too. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. In dating and even in marriage, we need to be intentional about communication. About communication. I'm gonna leave with this analogy, and I'm gonna get up out of here. Matter of fact, let me give a scripture and then I'm going to dip. All right. Ecclesiastes 4:9. Two are better than one. Two are better than one. For they have a good return for their labor. All right. Marriage can be a beautiful thing, and you can get an investment from it if you are coming together as two. All right. In order for us to become two, hear me carefully. In order for us to become two, that means that two whole people are coming together. I'm going to say that again. In order for us to be noted as two, that means two whole people are coming together. This is not a half and a whole and a half. But when you come into a relationship, you must come into the relationship whole already. I'm talking to brothers, I'm talking to sisters tonight. If you're looking for someone to fix you up, you should not be in a relationship. If you're looking for someone to be your personal therapist, stay single. If you're looking for someone to be your personal psychologist or psychiatrist, stay single. Hear me. You have to go into a marriage, you have to go into a relationship as a whole person, so that when we come together and we multiply, the one and the one become a two, and then we get an investment off of the two. I'll start right here. Relationships, marriages are nothing but investments. They're like stocks. The key of getting good stocks is I want to pay low but benefit high. I want to pay low but benefit high. The worst thing you want to do going to the stock is to buy a stock when it is astronomically high and it's already taken off. Most people that understand stocks, hear me carefully, you want to get a stock when it's low, and through time and maturity, the stocks begin to ascend and it creates a bigger investment for you. That's what you want to do while you're dating. It is a risk in dating. It is a risk in marriage, but you want to do enough research on your stock that I'd rather to pay a little in dating and profit a lot in marriage. Oftentimes we do it the other way. All right. We buy high stocks and then we end up paying the deficit on the back end. All right. So on tonight, you got to ask yourself, those who are married, those who are even dating. I'm dealing with the single folk. On the single folk, you got to ask yourself what type of stock you're looking for, what you're looking to invest into. Have you did proper research on this stock? Does this stock reflect what I want? Does this stock reflect what I need? Hear me carefully. I want to say this, and I'm going to get off. I'm going to say this on tonight. This going to hurt some of y'all feelings. This going to hurt some of y'all feelings, but I got to say it on tonight. Hear me carefully. And for those who think this is good, I want y'all to put in the comment, this is good. Just because I love you does not mean I need to be married to you. All right, I'm going to start right there. That's my drop the mic moment. That's my drop the mic moment. That's my drop the mic moment. Just because I love you does not mean I need to be married to you. I appreciate it. I got a brother talk to me. My brother Darryl said, this is good. I appreciate it. Brother talking to me. Just because I love you does not mean I need to be married to you. Because hear me carefully. Marriage is a business. And some people are not good business partners. So just because I love you doesn't mean I got to say I do to you. I can love you from a distance and understand I may have loved you in that season of my life, but better is coming. And I don't want to make a mistake and get into the wrong investment and lose all the money that I invested. I got another fella. That's good. I appreciate it. The fella's talking to me tonight. You got to ask yourself, just because I love them don't mean I need to be married to them. I close with this idea. I said it earlier. What God has put together, let no man separate. Ask yourself, did God put us together? Or did what I want put us together? Did my money situation put us together? Did my loneliness put us together? Did religion put us together? Did sex put us together? Did a child put us together? Did our family put us together? I got to ask myself these critical questions because I don't want to be joining something that God is not even in. I'm going to close with this thought on tonight. One of the greatest stage plays that was ever rendition was not the Wizard of Oz, but the Wiz. It was the black version of the Wiz. It was the black version of the Wizard of Oz. And what I love about the movie, it has a lot of prophetic utterances that could bless your life. And I'm going to leave you with this story on tonight. You know the story of the Wizard of Oz. It deals with a woman by the name of Dorothy. It deals with a woman by the name of Dorothy, who, hear me carefully, because of a storm, she had to leave home. Because of a storm, Dorothy had to relocate. Dorothy, hear me carefully, she had to find herself. And before the Dorothy married to the Wiz, watch what happens. She deals with 3 elements that we can talk about here tonight that deals with dating. Dorothy runs into a man who has no brain. She runs into a man that has no courage. And she runs into a man that has no heart. I'm going to say it again. Dorothy runs into a man who has no courage. She runs into a man who has no brain. She runs into a man that has no heart. And each man she ran into, watch what Dorothy did, like many of us in dating, she tried to fix every man she came in contact with. So when she came in contact with the lion, she tried to give him courage. When she came in contact with the Tin Man, she tried to find him a heart. When she came in contact with the Scarecrow, she tried to give him a brain. And Dorothy did not realize this journey is about you. This journey is not about you trying to fix some other people. So Dorothy spent most of her time, instead of trying to find her way back home, she spent most of her time trying to fix up men that she was never designed to fix. And Dorothy discovered something. I'm going to lead you on tonight to this. Dorothy discovered that after she couldn't help all the men that she was trying to fix, she realized on that day that before I can fix this Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the lion, I got to fix myself. She says, I cannot find my way back home until I fix myself. Because all of us, watch this, hit analogy in dating. The only reason the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, the lion, and Dorothy came together, because all of them had common issues. Because broken people attract broken people. I'm going to say it again. Broken people attract broken people. So all of them met each other on a yellow brick road because all of them was broken. She didn't have faith to be who God called her to be. They didn't have a heart. They didn't have a mind. They have a spirit. So brokenness attracted brokenness. And they all get to the Wiz and realize the Wiz was broken too. And it wasn't until then that they realized the only way I'm going to make it back home and complete this journey, hear me carefully, is I got to kill the witch that's in my life and realize who I am. I'm trying to help y'all tonight. I'm done right through here. It is not your job doing dating to try to fix up other people, but your job is to make sure that I fix the areas of my brokenness so I don't attract who I am. Because as long as you remain broken, you're only going to attract broken people. And when people see you, they don't see you for who you are. They see you just like a broken vending machine, out of order. I pray this bless you on tonight. I pray that this word gave you something to think about. That marriage is not for everyone. If you're single, you may remain single. If you're married, you should help your marriage become stronger. And if you're seeking marriage, use wisdom in it. I pray right now for every single person, every married person on here on tonight. I pray right now that God will give you the best days of your life, that your marriage will be fruitful, that your singleness will be fruitful. And for those who are seeking marriage that once were divorced, that God will send you the person that are uniquely anointed for you. My name is Kasin Hamilton, and I approve this message on tonight. Marriage is not for everyone. Thank you for everyone that jumped on here tonight. I pray that you press that like button. I pray that you'll press that share button on tonight. I pray that this bless your soul. If it bless your soul, put in the comments that it bless your soul. Listen, if you don't have a copy of this book, it is at the bottom of the screen, www.kkhbooks.com. I have ebooks on sale tonight for $10. Get it to a friend, buy it for yourself. Do what's best for you. I would rather you spend $10 on this book than to spend $10,000 on alimony. Before we close out tonight, I want to pray for the people online tonight too. Before I go, before we go out tonight, I want you to watch this video and consider buying this book on tonight.
Did you know that over 50% of marriages start at the altar but end up in the courtroom? Hi, my name is Kasin Hamilton, the author of Marriage is Not for Everyone. In this book, I detail that some people should stay single, others should get married, and some people should never get married again. Please grab a copy of this book. I would rather for you to spend $10 on this book than to spend $10,000 on alimony.
Thank y'all for joining in tonight, and I pray that you'll press that like, press that share button. Kai, good to have you on tonight. I didn't know y'all was on here tonight. Y'all say welcome to my publicist, Kai, on tonight. We had a great time last Thursday, and this is a divine moment for us to come together. I believe that seriously. Great spirit, beautiful spirit. I thank you, Kyle. We're going to do great and wonderful things with this book. Listen, if you don't have a copy of this book, go to www.kkhbooks.com, and I pray that this book will bless you. Also, you get an ebook for $10 on tonight. Listen, do me a favor. Even if you don't grab a book tonight, do me a huge favor. I need at least 5 people to do this tonight. Tag me to a post and write something you learned or something that blessed your soul on tonight, and do Marriage is Not for Everyone on the post. If you don't buy nothing tonight, just tag me on the post tonight and let people know on tonight that you have been blessed by it. Thank you for the 28 likes and shares. Thank you for the 28 people that shared on tonight. Thank you. I need at least 3 more people. We can get the 31 shares on tonight. I would greatly appreciate that. Send it to your family members. Send it to your friends. Let them know that it was a blessing on tonight. And I pray whatever status of your relationship that you're in, I pray that you have a fruitful relationship. Listen, have a wonderful night. I want to pray a blessing over everyone tonight. I want to bless everyone's household, every individual that's on tonight. I pray tonight that you will all be prosperous in all that you do. I pray that you'll be blessed in your health, your mind, your body, and your spirit. I pray that everything that you touch shall be blessed. I pray right now that no weapon formed against you shall be able to prosper. I pray right now for unexpected meetings. I pray right now for open doors. I pray right now for favor and prosperity. I pray right now that the person God has designed for you, you shall meet them and experience the fruit thereof. And I pray for those who are married, that God will rekindle your love and give you another insight into your mate. I also pray for those who are widowed tonight. They have lost a person they love. I pray that God will heal their heart. And I pray for those who have been divorced, that God will heal your heart and give you another reason to love. And I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Y'all have a great night. Press that like, press that share button. Tag me into a post. Let me know what was said on tonight that bless your soul and your spirit. Send it to someone. Have a great day. I will see you soon. This is Kasin Hamilton. Marriage is not for everyone.